Okay. So, Brittney, tell me, how did you start doing nails? Was it already a passion, or was it something that you were just thrown into?
Well, I did hair first. And I worked at a place called Fairhaven, and I worked for the post office, and I just knew it was something more in me, and I had more potential. So I just started at my job. I was really reading a devotional Bible, and I was like, God, what else can I do? I know this is not just it. So I walked off my job, and I walked off with faith. I went home, I prayed, I got on my knees and I prayed, and I asked God for a gift, and I asked him for a talent, and I asked him for a purpose. And that same day, I went to a nail shop, with my mom, and we just went in there, we sat down. It was a whole bunch of other people. They was crowded. And my mom sat down, and I was in the lobby, and I was sitting down. My mom came over. She said, Brittney, the lady said, do you want to work for her? And I was like, no, because I was frustrated. So I was like, Mom, I don't want to work for nobody else. I want my own. So she was like, no, no, no. I want you to teach you how to do pedicures. And I was like, okay, I know what I just asked God for. It might seem small, but it opened up to be so big when I accepted.
You almost closed the door.
I almost closed the door, but I had to sit and think, like, I just asked God. God blessed me with my gift. In the same hour I prayed. And when I accepted it, it just overflowed. Like, it just seemed like it came so natural. It seemed like I've been doing it. It didn't take me long to like get the concept of doing pedicures, and I stayed in pedicures for so long. So she didn't want to teach me how to do nails. When she got sick, her son came in.
So she wanted to basically box you in.
She wanted to box me in. She already had her plan, but God had his plan too. He had a different plan. Her plan was to, I want this person in here. I can see her grow. So I want her to be here to grow my clients.
Okay, so tell me, how long was it that God had you in this position to work up under somebody else before you stepped out on faith and branched off into your own?
I worked under her for a year. I seen how she ran the salon, and I seen many different faces, many different spirits. I seen what I needed to know. I got the skill, and that's another thing she was scared about, that I was going to get the skill and run with it. But I didn't look at it that way. I really wasn't even like thinking about a calling. That wasn't even in me. I wasn't thinking about a business, because I didn't even know I walked in a door that God really wanted me to walk in. I just knew what I had prayed for, and I just walked in that door. So when I accepted it, it was hard. It was real hard dealing with the person I was working with. It was very hard. We got into it mostly every day, and she gave threats and a lot of stuff, and I was just like, you know what, I can do this at home. I can go home with this. And when I went home with it, and my mind started like expanding, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to school for it. So I remember one day I said, God, I need $1,500 to pay down on school. So when I got on my knees praying, I went to the mailbox. It was a check in the mail for $2,600. I was like, wow, I'm finna go pray for something else. So I was like, Mom, I got the money for the down payment. I cashed that check. I went to the school, and I had gave them the money. I'm excited. And my grandma's house, I was like, Grandma, I'm gonna work at your house for a while. My grandma thought she was gonna be like 2 people. She was like, well, Brittney, I thought it was gonna be like 2 or 3. 2 and 3 turned into like 30 people a day. I was doing that many people a day, and I was doing this day and night, not knowing that I had a calling. But people really started over the years. People really started just, I want to sit with her. I want to talk to her. I like how she do nails, but I like her spirit too.
Right.
So that came with that. My calling was developing. He was doing something right then, because I know one thing about it. God said he have a plan for you. And when God said he have a plan for you, he will take everything away from you just to make you clean. God took everything away from me in this pandemic just to make me clean. I wondered, but when God said you don't have to worry, just pray about it, so I prayed. It was a storm in my heart, but God kind of, ceased it. I got you. And when you really got something in your heart, you got to know that God will develop it. And he will use it for only his glory, not man glory. Only his.
Okay, so you recently spoke about the pandemic that we are currently in with COVID-19. How has this affected your business, if any?
It really didn't affect my business. I remember in February, I told my clientele I was going on a break. And in March.
For a month.
For a month. And I told my clientele that I kind of broke the break because I wanted to get back to the people. I love what I do, but I love people. Some people you just love to do, and some people I just had to get it. But in this pandemic, God said, no, you're going to break because I have something new for you. You've been asking for it. You've been praying for it. So I need you to break. And in order to pick something up, you have to drop something. He wasn't telling me to drop nails. He told me to rest. And I didn't rest, but it came a time that nail shops closed. I had to rest. So when I made my post and I said, well, I'm not doing nails during this pandemic, all it seemed like all broke loose. Everybody got mad.
Right.
Everybody started coming at me, either negative, either positive, and I had to explain. And I really stopped explaining because I don't have to explain a purpose or a vision what God gave me. You see what I'm saying? So I really had to stop because the nail shops had closed down, and I got to follow by that the rules and the policy. But in order to have a great purpose and to have a successful business, is come in your mind. I had to get my mind together because my mind was crashing. I was like a roller coaster, and it was really crashing. But my clientele did not understand that. She does good work. I want her to do my nails, but it's not about the nails with me. Even though I want to do it, it's not about that. I have to get something new, and I had to put that on the side for I can build my new thing. It wasn't all about me. I didn't understand what God was telling me to do, but I knew I had to do it. So I remember in April, every time I tried to do nails, something would happen. I mean, I tried to do nails, I got sick. I got flu symptoms, and I had stopped again. Okay, everything went away. All that sickness went away. I tried again, and when I tried again, my arm swelled up and turned black as I was trying. And I said, you know what, God? I'm going to sit down.
Because this was your season. God
this
put
was
you in a place
yes.
that you needed to rest. You were being disobedient to God.
Yes. I really was.
He had to show you, I'm still in control, and I need you to hear what it is that I'm telling you.
Right.
So during this sit down, were you able to, I guess, get more creative with your skills? Were you able? Tell me a little bit about that.
With my sit down, as I kept trying and trying and trying, he kept breaking it off. Kept breaking it off. And I moved to Tennessee. And my clientele was like, Brittney, no, I don't think God telling you to move to Tennessee. And I was like, I know he is. Even I thought it was for to stay, but he moved me to Tennessee because he wanted me to really rest. I was not going to rest in Birmingham. I went to Tennessee and got so much peace. I came back to Birmingham, and when I came back, it felt like I got my gift. I was so creative, and I had gained a lot more. He stripped me down to nothing. And when I came back to Birmingham, I was like, wow, it felt like I just started doing. I was so excited. Even my clients was like, Brittney, I don't know what happened in Tennessee, but you know, you slaying them nails, like you really doing this. So I was like,
thank you for the gift.
thank you for the gift. And he delivered me. He really delivered me. He made my heart pure. Like it was wonderful. I started, you know, putting scriptures beside my problems. I don't complain. If I have a problem, I read a scripture and I go by my day. And when I came back to Birmingham,
so let me ask you this. We're gonna go back. Let's think back a couple of years when you first started. What would you tell a younger Brittney B or another younger woman that's considering starting in the nail tech industry? What advice would you give to that young woman?
Before you decide to do nails, seek God first, because you can spend your money on something and don't even have a passion for it. You can spend $1,000 on something and it will sit in a room for a long time and you don't even want to do it. You got to understand, you got to know what you want to do. You can't do it, and you got to understand what's your calling. You got to ask God for your calling. Like me, I ask God for a purpose, something that glorifies Him. So you gotta know, do you really want to do this? Because we can start something and won't finish. You got to know, do you really want to do it before you buy some nails supplies? Because nails ain't just nails. You dealing with different people. You can't look on Facebook, well, she making this and she prospering, she's big, her name is big, and I want to do that. You cannot do that, because you're going to do it different. You're going to speak to people different. You're going to have a different spirit than me. And I see that now, that people want to do it. Oh, she's making a big impact. You got to have more than customer service. This is a customer service, but you have to have more than customer service.
And with that being said, do you think do your clients sometimes come to you, I guess, looking for counseling? It's almost like a counseling.
Right.
When they get their nails done. You have to counsel some of your clients.
Right.
So let me ask you, what do you think sets you apart from other nail techs?
What sets me apart from other nail techs is I don't respond to negative. I don't listen, or, you know, I don't focus on what others doing. My mind is so beyond nails. I live in my own nail world. It's like, Brittney, like you said, I'm out of my comfort zone. I will take you out your comfort zone. I don't just, when I'm doing nails, I don't just think about nails. I might have something on my mind. I will build a whole world around nails. So I keep focus on myself. And when I'm doing nails, I have my gospel on, I have some sermons on. So that what makes me different. Like, I'm unique. I'm very unique. I don't just try to sit here and just try to make money. I'm for the people. I don't know who I'm gonna speak to. I don't speak to everybody. I don't touch everybody. But in this gift, God, this was an assignment. I want you to do this. I want people to be saved. You touching hands every day. You can say a prayer for them. They don't have to know what you're doing. They don't have to know what you're saying. So I'm not better than no one. I just got my own calling. I have my own purpose.
Okay, so Brittney, what motivates you?
Ooh, good question. Everything about God motivates me. And that's what my mind is. My mind is straight focused on God. When I wake up in the morning, it's Him first. It's Him first, Him first. I can't even think about anything else. I sleep on Him. I wake up on Him. I go to, everything is about Him. I just don't go around just, speaking on Him, telling, but everything is about Him. He motivates me. Them scriptures motivate me. Everything about God motivate me. I'm on His path. I'm letting Him lead me. God, take it. You got it. I can't do it on my own. I try to do on my own. It never works out. So in the morning, I give God my plan. And I say, God, you take my will and you do yours. And when you do that in life, your day will go by smooth. I don't care what you're going through. You have to put positive in your mind. And the best positive thing that I know is his promise.
Okay, our last question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself in God's will, and I see myself in his plan, because God said he has a plan for me, and I'm going to go with that.
Okay. Well, that's the end, and I would like to thank you for coming by and sharing your vision, your passion, and your purpose with the start of something new.
All right. Thank you.